BBC Sport has revealed which are the biggest clubs in Britain. Welcome back to Fog Football article. I thought, you know what? Let's react to this. So it's the age old debate. Which is the biggest football club in Britain? All right. Is it the one with the most trophies, the one with the highest revenue, the greatest social media following, the biggest stadium, the best average league position, or perhaps it's a happy medium of all those things? Right. Let's just dive into this top 10 list. We'll start for 10th and we'll make our way down, right? So, Newcastle United in 10th. For me, Newcastle United should be nowhere near this list. You know, like, they literally went, like, how many years there without winning a trophy, right? And you know what? Fair play to them. The Geordies, they were celebrating that Carabao Cup, and you know what? I think down in England, winning cup competitions, fans don't even care about it anymore, and it's sad. You know what I mean? Even up in Scotland, when there's a cup final up for grabs, it's monumental. It's massive. You know what I mean? And I know we would joke like if a team only wins a League Cup, right, at the end of the season between the big two, and obviously the past 14 years have been pretty shite for Rangers. But reality is, up here, every trophy matters. It does. Down in England, everyone's ripping the piss out of Newcastle, but for me, no, Newcastle are not 10th, man. They're not. I mean, I'd put Aberdeen and Hearts above Newcastle. Genuinely mean that. I mean, it doesn't matter how much Saudi money they've got. Doesn't matter how many goals Alan Shearer scored. It doesn't matter what Ant Dek do. You know, Newcastle just aren't that big of a club. They aren't. They really aren't. Into ninth spot, we've got Aston Villa, of course, winners of the European Cup. Back in the early 90s, 80s, sorry. I mean, Aston Villa, big club, massive club. You know, I'm not even going to sit here and dispute it. I think this sums up where this list has went wrong, though. Like, how can you have Aston Villa one place above Newcastle? To me, that doesn't sound right. Moving on, we've got Rangers. So Rangers have made it in 8th spot. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, we should be a lot higher than 8th. A lot higher. Right? We don't have a European Cup, we don't have a Champions League. Obviously that's going to hold us back, right? For, hitting number one spot. I totally get that, right? But Rangers, for me, if we're looking at the English clubs, only United and Liverpool for me are bigger across the world. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Arsenal and Chelsea have got diddy followings across the world, but I genuinely believe that. It's like, you look at supporter clubs across this planet, this earth that we live on. Manchester United and Liverpool, they're the two, right? That I think are genuinely the only two bigger than any team in Scotland. I mean, the fact that we are below Tottenham on this list, right? Tottenham, I've always wondered why they're even considered a part of the Big Six. You know what I mean? It's same with Man City. Like the top six has been a thing in England for 15 years, and I don't get it, to be honest. But Tottenham are in 7th. Don't agree with that. 6th place we've got Chelsea. 2-time winners of the Champions League. Yes, most of their successes really came in the last couple of decades. But here, you've still got to get that success at the end of the day. 5th, we've got Celtic. Right, Celtic have obviously overtaken Rangers in trophies won. They're in complete cruise control domestically right now. Domination. They've got a Champions League, European Cup, whatever you want to call it, to their name. Like I said, with Rangers, supporter clubs across the planet, 60,000 seater stadium, you name it. I just can't believe that whoever created this list has put Manchester City above Celtic and Rangers. Manchester City are a plastic club. Chelsea, I feel have an actual, core fan base to them. I'm not saying there ain't Man City fans, right? All that money. But I feel Chelsea, before Abramovich, they had success before him. Man City didn't really have an awful lot, really, if being honest. So yeah, I totally disagree. Man City should not be 4th. Into the top 3, You know, if someone wants to say that Arsenal are bigger than Celtic and Rangers, I think that's fair enough. But at the same time, I wouldn't put them above it. It's not, to me, a disgrace putting them above, right? But for me, the top two clubs in Britain, it is Manchester United and Liverpool. Absolutely, you know, they are. I can't really complain too much for the top two in this list. I would put United above Liverpool. But obviously Liverpool, I mean, Liverpool are catching United in most things, aren't they? And they're already heading Champions Leagues and things like that. But yeah. Now, in terms of the most trophies, who's won the most trophies? So, as you can see, Celtic and Rangers sit well clear. Well clear. You know what I mean? And if you look at Celtic and Rangers, right? 119, 118. It's so close. Obviously, Celtic have won, the better European competition. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say they haven't. So Celtic sit above Rangers there. You look at the gap back to Liverpool and United, and people be like, "Oh, it's the Scottish League." But you know what? Yeah, it's the Scottish League. But Rangers and Celtic both had to step up and dominate that. You know what I mean? They both had to step up and dominate that. It didn't just get put in their lap. They had to step up, you know what I mean, and actually deliver it on the pitch with countless managers and players over the decades. It's not just a case of here we get put into that position for the get go. Like realistically, with the amount of money that like Manchester City have spent recently, they have dominated. You know what I mean? And for years, Man United dominated. The problem is they can't do it for a prolonged period of time like Celtic and Rangers have done it. So, yeah, for me, this is why Celtic and Rangers should be just behind Liverpool and United because got a lot more trophies, but those two have got a lot more European trophies. We go into Arsenal, Arsenal have got the one European trophy, 13 league titles, 16 domestic cups. City are catching Arsenal. I mean, there is no two ways about that. They are. But, I don't know, there's just something about City that feels off. Like, I just don't really rate Manchester City. Like, all of those trophies, apart from a few, literally came in like the last, 17 years since like 08, 09. Chelsea, a lot of European trophies, but not in there. And as I said earlier, right, it's like, I would put, like, how the fuck are Newcastle above, like, Hearts and Aberdeen? You know what I mean? They're obviously, which club is the biggest social media following? Like, to me, this is just a load of shite because the Scottish game has been held back by TV deals. We are never, ever, ever, right, going to get as many followers as like Man City or Man United. It's just never, ever going to happen. And you know what? I actually welcome that because it makes us less a fucking tourist club, doesn't it? Anyway, which club generates the most money? And again, we're never going to generate the amount of money as that. Which club has got the biggest stadium? Rangers are ninth on the list. Celtic are sixth. But again, like, Tottenham have got the second big stadium, but who cares? You know what I mean? They've only got like 2.4 thousand more than Celtic. Doesn't mean shit. I mean, Sunderland have got 49,000. I did not know the stadium have like held that many people. Celtic's average rating doesn't really say much about Rangers or Celtic, so yeah, I mean, I'm much part of it. It is what it is, folks. For me, United, Liverpool, you can put them really in any order. Then it's Celtic and Rangers. Then it would be Arsenal, probably Chelsea. And then I don't really care after that. But for me, Alan Shearer's obviously had a fucking word here because they are nowhere. Newcastle are nowhere near the 10th biggest club. You know what I mean? Like, if Newcastle are going 10th because of what recent bias, even though they've only won one trophy, this with that big gap. I mean, look at Aberdeen. Look at Hearts. Aberdeen in the 80s, man. Aberdeen in the 80s is a better fucking period than Newcastle ever had in their puff. So for me, and I'm not one to stick up an awful lot for Aberdeen, but you know what? I will defend Scottish clubs against English clubs, so all that good stuff. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. Folk wrestling? Haha, no. Folk football. Signing out.